It has become a cliche to give advice to your younger self. I used to think this concept was really corny, and I actually thought, and in some ways still do, that the opposite is true, that we as jaded adults can learn a lot from our younger selves. When I was first starting out as an aspiring writer and filmmaker, I had ignorant ambition. I forget where I heard that phrase, but it's basically the same thing as blind ambition. When I was first starting out, if I had known all the pitfalls and the doors that would be slammed in my face, I may not have pursued writing and filmmaking. I probably would have chosen something more practical and more guaranteed to have success or at least a regular paycheck. But recently, I've been rethinking this concept of giving advice to your younger self. And I think it's because I just had a birthday. I was born on August 2nd, and I'm proud that I share a birthday with James Baldwin. And if I could ever become half as great as one of the greatest writers of all time, that would truly be amazing. I also share a birthday with Apollonia Kotero, Prince's co-star in Purple Rain. And Purple Rain was one of the movies I saw growing up that inspired me to become a writer and filmmaker. I grew up in an interracial family, and seeing an interracial world depicted on screen really empowered me. So, if I were somehow able to go back in time and talk to my younger self, I would give my younger self two major pieces of advice that I've learned over the years. Lately, and I think it's because of my birthday, I've been thinking about how unpopular I was in high school. I was very shy and introverted. I didn't talk much to people outside of class. I had very few friends, and I spent countless hours laying around watching TV and listening to music to combat the boredom. I recently had a breakthrough when I realized that the reason that I was unpopular in high school wasn't because I wasn't liked, it was because I wasn't known. Looking back now on those high school years with adult eyes, I realize there's a lot I could have done to make myself better known and to make friends. I could have reached out and befriended people instead of waiting for them to talk to me. I could have invited people to sit together at lunch and to hang out after school. I could have joined clubs and organizations where I could have met people with similar interests, like the drama club. Being unpopular because you're unknown is a metaphor for life as an independent filmmaker and author. Our books and movies often aren't known by the general public because we don't have the deep pockets that traditional publishers and major studios have to place ads on billboards and on television and to run trailers for our movies in theaters when people go to see big blockbuster movies. But there's a lot that we as independent filmmakers and authors can do to make our work more widely known. We can learn to master social media. We can build an email list. We can go to events and network. We can pass out business cards and flyers with information about the projects we're working on. It's up to us to take an active role and live with intention rather than being passive and accepting whatever life hands us. The other major piece of advice that I would give my younger self is that as a high school student, I was wealthy and didn't know it. I had my basic needs met by my parents and grandparents. I wasn't being beaten, molested, or severely abused. I had hours and hours of uninterrupted, literal, unadulterated time at my disposal that I could have used to develop myself and build skills. I couldn't see how rich I was at the time, rich in terms of time. All I could see was the loneliness, the boredom, the shyness, the social awkwardness, the feeling that I didn't seem to fit in anywhere. What I would tell my younger self is that instead of using those hours and hours of alone time, laying around watching TV and feeling sorry for myself, use that time to develop my writing and filmmaking skills. What I would tell my younger self is that time is a precious, finite resource, and you, young man, have been gifted with a lot of it, so use it wisely. If only I had known then what I know now. What advice would you give to your younger self? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please leave a comment, share it, and subscribe to my channel. I recently had a breakthrough. Breakthrough?